Well, greetings and welcome to another episode of Lightbulb Moments. Glad you're with us today. Whether you're joining us live, watching the YouTube, or listening to the podcast, we're glad you're with us today and spending your precious attention and time. Today is April 15th. It is tax day. In another lifetime, boy, I got to tell you, that was a day that was marked in a lot of different colors as a former tax professional in terms of the end of a major grind. So here it is, tax day, and I no longer have that angst and anxiety about that deadline. And shout out to all of those that are out there, the tax preparers, the tax planners, the things that they do to make sure that we have a tax advantaged plan that's legal. And it's something that is part of our model. So a good shout out to Lightheart Sanders, the CPAs who have been a great sponsor of this platform for a long time. They also are an incredible partner in data projects, including a P&L study that we've just completed, and we will soon be listing results on that. So anyway, happy tax day and happy Wednesday listening in. So today, before I get to our guests, we have a couple different guests, which I'll get to shortly. It's Joe DeAnda, the co-owner of Trios in Fort Collins, Colorado, somebody that I have known for a very long time, and I'm proud of all of the great things that he and Karen DeAnda and their team have accomplished. We also have Lori, who is the Director of Client and Partner Relations with Aura Software. We're going to get on with them in a moment. Meanwhile, though, before we do, I wanted to go through just a couple different updates. Reminder, the Phil is coming up. I think we are under 5 weeks away. Oh my gosh. And we have lots in store. We have a great turnout. We have great speakers. We're going to be announcing some more speakers in the upcoming days. If you're not signed up, we are well ahead of last year's attendance. I have a great group, and our theme this year is "and," which we've unpacked in previous episodes. What I really want to share today is the 17% National Growth Challenge. This is the third time we've done this, but it's the first time in probably 7 or 8 years. And it started last week. So we have some data starting to come in and different practices. Altogether, we have 85 locations, which is incredible, that is part of this 13-week growth challenge. 1,061 service providers. And we've got some early results because there's weekly tracking that goes in this. And people are having fun with it, and they're using it to engage their team, a fresh approach to growth. And we already have a ton of what we'll call 17ers, those that have achieved at least 17% growth compared to their prior weekly average. And the list is long and long and long. How cool is that? And then we have several companies that not only have several members of their team that are growing their total sales, this is service and retail, by a minimum of 17% over their previous weekly average, but we have several companies that have over 17% growth. So not everybody has completed their tracking yet, but we have a very healthy group of companies that this is lifting their sales. Now, in an era, in fact, I was just looking at trend sales data, not just from last year, but looking at the first quarter this year. So last year, revenue was up, depending on which data point you look at, it's between 2 and 3% sales. However, retail is reporting another decline year. And so anything we can do today to get greater growth is something that we're all ears on. So certainly the 17% challenge is one that we wanted to mention today, but it's also a great segue into our guests. And let's welcome Joe and Lori to the mic. and the screen. Good morning. How are you, Lori?
How are you?
Good morning, Joe. Good to see you.
Good morning, Thomas.
So here we are, spending some time together. It's a good segue that I set up in terms of growth and how technology and not just technology, but practices built around technology and tech adoption can create great growth. But before I go further, let me properly introduce the two of you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Joe is, I don't need my notes on this one. Joe and his wife, Karen, have co-owned the Trios Salon company in Fort Collins for 28 years. I know that very well because 29 years ago, being based in Colorado, I got to work with Joe and Karen as they did the projections and pre-opening. And here you are today, just continuing to grow, do great things. You're multiple times Salon Today 200 Award recipient. You've won Community Impact Awards in both growth and engagement. And you're going to become a certified community coach next summer, which is super cool. Business focuses on relaxation, rejuvenation, and exceptional beauty services. And thrilled to have you with us today. Best to Karen, and who's probably busy behind the chair, is she?
Correct.
Lori, you are Director of Partner and Client of Partner Relations at Aura Software. You've got over 20 years experience. Your career was behind the chair as a stylist, which is awesome. Then you moved into salon operations and management, regional leadership across multiple locations for a multi-location brand. And then you're in distribution, but you've moved into the world of technology over recent years. All right. So great, well-rounded experience. I'm so glad both of you are with us today. So speaking about growth, there's a great article. Joe, you and Karen were the poster childs, the cover of Salon Today last fall. And in there, you highlighted some practices that we'll talk about today. So should we dig in a little bit?
Sounds good to me.
So first thing I want to focus on, and we're gonna go between the two of you. We're gonna start with you, Joe, and Lori will have you jump in here and there. So there's a technology feature you used called Scent, okay?
Correct.
And Lori, in a nutshell, let's do a level set. What is Scent?
Scent is going to be your marketing, your communication to your clients.
Is it scent or send?
Scent.
Scent. Okay. All right. Gotcha. And just give us a quick kind of how it works.
Yeah. So it's target marketing. It's going to be your mass emails. It's going to be your targeted emails. It's going to be your text messaging. And it's going to be a way to send out communication, just as Joe's going to talk about, to all of your clients. You can pinpoint, really narrow down to specifically your audience. You can narrow it down by provider, by services that they've had, services that they have not had, retail that they've purchased, retail that they haven't purchased. So it gets really specific to who you want to send messages to. But you can also make it really broad. You could do your newsletters, you could do general sales and promotions, updates to your business, but it's overall a general way to communicate with your clients via text and email.
Great. Thank you. So it's one thing to have the technology. It's the other thing to actually use the technology. So over to you, Joe. So certainly you caught our ear on your 12-day promotion period, where was it 41,000 or was it 47,000 you brought in terms of extra retail?
It was 44,000.
You just keep changing the number on me. I heard 41, I heard 47. We'll settle on 44. Either way you look at it, it's a really nice number. So now that was over a 12-day period. And had you ever done anything like that before, where you had a 12-day period where you had that kind of retail sales?
No, that was every year using the scent feature on Aura. We just keep pinpointing it, figure out the demographic, et cetera. Um, I think as a marketing, if you're in marketing, like you keep playing with the levers when you're social media, trying to find your target audience. That's kind of what we did with Scent, and it was an amazing year this year. But given the economy, first off, let me say that I am a staff of 18 people, so we're not a huge company. We're single location, 18 dedicated team members, and to send this marketing piece out to everyone that has bought this brand before and to do it strategically, really it worked all together for an outstanding holiday sale.
Well, we all get text messages and we all get emails. What was it that allowed us to cut through the clutter so people actually bought?
I think anytime we send out a text, it's got a visual attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like my wife, I think she gets texts all the time from World Market. It's a store here, and when she sees it, she opens it because it's visual. It's got a graphic of kind of representing of what they're running a special on. If she's interested, she's going to click through. And of course, if she's not interested, she's not going to. Well, I think our audience wants to know, first off, it's their salon and there's something happening. So they're going to open that up and see, what it's all about. So I think it's the graphic that really grabs them.
So the visual aspect of it. Okay.
Correct, because we can do it by email as well, and we do have a 30% open email rate because it's from your salon. But in the sent visual text, I can actually see how many people got it, how many people received it, and how many people didn't receive it, and how many people opted out. So you're right, Tom. It was 46,000 last year in a
You
12-day
know,
period.
interesting timing we're talking about this because um, Aaron is pretty tuned into what's going on with TikTok and how people are buying through TikTok. And then I believe I just saw something yesterday about Instagram now, so within Instagram, you can hit a buy button. So brick and mortar
Hmm.
businesses like Trios to compete today need to take a fresh look at technology. So you sent me some of the text messages and moving away from this promotion that was, 40 plus thousand, whatever the number is one of the ones that you sent me was a picture of a stylist. So that's part of your visual texting is to actually show the faces of your team. Talk about how you've used that as a business strategy.
We have a mid-level stylist, and we sent out a visual text with her picture, and it said, "Hey, she has some openings tomorrow and some throughout the week." And because we noticed that she only had 2 appointments on the books, and it was valued at $135. So we sent that out in the morning, and by the evening, she went from 2 appointments to 7 appointments on the next day, and went from $135 value to $555 by sending one text out that said, "Hey, she's got some openings if you're interested." And we sent it to past people, whether they've been in again or not, and we sent them to who have seen her, and even future appointments. Because Betty may be like, you know what, I want to move my appointment earlier, and she's got a spot. And so all of that was done with one text and went out, and it was beautiful. And we use that from time to time, but we're not targeting new clients. We're targeting her existing people that already know her. They see a picture of her. They're like, huh, what's happening?
Who's doing this in your business, Joe? Because this isn't done automatically. I'm sure with AI features that are coming out from Aura and other companies that it can be less human involvement, but this does require some work on your end, right? I mean, obviously you've got a return on it, but what type of investment and time do you have in something like this?
It I did this particular one because we just had new headshots done, so I needed to grab her headshot from the new portfolio and edit it down um, to the right size that Aura will accept so that it can go out.
Mhm.
And it probably took me all of 8 minutes to do this, but now we're rebuilding our portfolio for pictures to go out on text. And between myself and my guest services manager, we share that thing and then we collaborate. Like, hey, do we want to send a text for so and so? She's open next Wednesday, and we talk about that. And then sometimes we will even do a little offer in that text, $20 off, come see her, or $20 off retail if you come see her next week. And so we just have little tools in our basket that doesn't cost anything. The scent feature with Aura comes with our monthly subscription price. So it's there and it's going to be charged whether we use it or not. So we always we're always at our limit of how many texts we can send in a month.
You know, probably, we talk about technology a lot on this forum, and I think probably one of my biggest pet peeves, not only, past life as a salon owner, but, past, present, and future, has to do less about the technology and more about the adoption of the actual technology features. So Lori, here you've got these winning features within your platform, and then you have a customer like Trios that's actually using it. So how do you eliminate the gap between a feature like that and someone like Joe actually using it for, some measurable results?
Yeah, we hear like with social media now too, like things don't have to look perfect anymore. And although Joe gets a lot of credit because his do look really, really nice, but they don't have to look like a marketing agency put these together for you. Just get the message out. Just get the message out to your clients. The amount of time that people are looking at these are really small and they're not, narrowing in on any errors or, imagery or things like that, but they just want to know the message. They want to see what's going out. And Joe's doing a great job of grabbing their attention quickly with an image, which is great because our attention span is so low. People don't like to read anymore. So they're getting that attention with his image. But I would say just like the gap between, hey, you have this and where the level that Joe's at is just start. Just put one thing out, just see what it does. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't worry or, struggle too much with like the design of it. You're really putting out the message that you want to drive across.
Good stuff. Yeah. You, we talked a little bit about retention and strategies related with clients without a visit. You want to talk about that for a little bit, Joe?
Um, Refresh my memory, Tom. I don't remember what we
Well,
were.
running reports, clients without a visit.
Oh, that's another thing that we do. We can run reports from Aura to see who hasn't returned, and because stylists they have a lot of ownership, and Aura lets them do that because there's a dashboard. They can see their pre-book, they can see their average ticket, they can see their retail, all the community drivers. I'm gonna call it. They can see, and we are part of the growth challenge right now, and we had a third of our staff qualified. No, 3 out of 12. So a quarter of our staff got to 17% last week. Um, but all
Nice.
that said, if they see their books are open, they're like, huh, give me people in the last 3 months who haven't come back.
Hmm.
And so I can run that report for them. They go down it and they will text them personally through Aura. Say, hey, Betty, I have some openings tomorrow. I was thinking about you. Would you be interested in coming in? So they'll either do that themselves, or if they have a busy day ahead of them, but they're open tomorrow, they will star people that we will send individual texts to because they know the rhythm, they know the cadence. It's like, yeah, Harry needs to get in. He's long, I can tell. Just give him a text, he'll probably book. And so we use that, and so it's quite effective to have their involvement. They're looking at the people who aren't coming back, and again, they know the cadence, they know the personality. Oh, he's a student, he'll need to come in after 4, all that detail.
So again, I mentioned earlier that salon growth right now is low single digits, with service slightly trending up and retail continuing to be down. Lori, this is a pain point. This is a pain point for your customers. It's a pain point for the industry. What else? I don't want to make this too much about Aura and your particular platform, just more from taking advantage of features that you already have in technology to not be one of those businesses with low single digits, but how you can be in the high single digits or 10% growth, which we are seeing out there. What else?
Joe, what you just said kind of nails it. Is we're in a time of autonomy, essentially, right? People want to have some control over things. They want to have some input on things. And Joe, you're giving your team that flexibility to not only see where they have some gaps, but then they're playing the part of how do I reach out to my clients? Who am I going to reach out to? How am I filling my own books and how am I filling my own schedule when there are gaps? And that's a really good point of not just the dashboard, because in Aura all providers have access to their own dashboard so they can see where they're at, what they're missing, where they're trying to go. But they're also playing a part in that. And Joe is like the golden example of how do you, exceed your growth goals and how do you boost your retail sales. And if you are, in those lower single digits of retail sales, it's just starting somewhere. And if this is one place that you can start, pick a promotion or we've seen a lot of success with salons that, and Joe, you're using this the same way, is when stylists do have a gap that day, it's a text or an email that goes out that morning to say, hey, do you want to fill this? Because that's another thing. People don't know what their schedule is 6 weeks from now. They have a hard time scheduling anymore. But in real time, if I have an opening today and you let me know and I want to come in, boom, I can come in, right? And you're filling those gaps and Joe's filling those gaps. And we're seeing other people fill it that way also. So just pick one place to start, whether it be, hey, last minute opening today, here's our promotion, here's what we have coming up, here's a new service provider, here's a new service. Just pick one and see how it goes.
So, ultimately, behavior change and getting team members to execute is key. Frictionless technology has to enable the kind of behaviors you're looking for, right, Joe?
That's right. And I just to Lori's point, I think a lot of platforms have the stuff that we're talking about today, but it's actually, a lot of owners, a lot of businesses are paying for this anyway. Dig into it, see what you got,
Yeah.
and get in there and go, what can I use? And just start somewhere because it gets easy. And we've been with Aura since 2021, and we're just getting more and more familiar with it and more practice. And with texting, we are now developing a little graphic to empower our staff when they see a new client. Fred comes in, he's new, and we're having them script out little text scripts, and it's like, Fred, it was great meeting you today. I loved doing your hair. We do have a referral program, and the graphic that's going to go with that is the little referral program graphic. You get so much off if you send me somebody, whatever the referral is. But now it's giving the stylist another connection piece to say, I loved doing your hair. Send me your people, send me your family, send me your friends, send me your coworkers, whatever the text is going to be, whatever that conversation happened. But now they have a piece and they can do that while the color is processing, or if they have downtime, they're going to be able to start that other connection of getting that new client stickier. And even sending it out, because everybody's looking for new clients right now, right? So even sending out to their favorite clients when they have a moment. We've had them identify through a community tool called the Inner Circle. We're having them identify these people, and they're starting to send these texts out. And so we'll see how many referrals we can get in today's economy.
You sent me, I'm looking at some text messages you sent me because I was super curious to see them, and I'm going to pull this up to the screen. I love this one right here. It's about Taylor having some openings. And so that's the type of thing you're talking about. Uh,
Correct.
and that's a picture of Taylor right there.
Yeah, and who doesn't love, they love their stylist. So it's like, oh, I got to go see Taylor again. It
Yeah.
was it was a great success scent.
You know
You
what
know,
else
I
is at that time too is that if you see that message, it says call or text me. So these are two-way communication text messages. Just to point that out, that they don't have to call because people have a fear of phone today. Also, they can text and say, "Hey, I'd like to get in," or they can respond via that text.
That is a good point, Lori, because we do have to let the front line know, hey, a text just went out for Taylor, because sometimes a text will come back, what time does she have open?
mm,
And they're like, what is this person talking about? And and then of course they know it's Taylor. They click on it, and just like you said, Lori, I don't know why I'm an older generation, so it's like I would just call. Does she have a four? But texting is so much easier. Um, does she have a 4 o'clock? Anything after four?
so you have another one here that's referral based. Take me through this one. So I don't know if for those of you that are on the podcast, you won't be able to see this, but here we have a referral based. And this, hey, I love doing your hair and was wondering if you'd send me your family, friends, and coworkers. You'll get a $25 gift and they'll get 20 off their first service with me. Has that been effective so far?
That's our beta, Tom. We're about to launch that.
Okay.
So we can check back in a month, see how many, because we will know. Right now, we're doing a physical card and a physical referral,
Mm-hmm.
but now we're going to evolve that to a connection point. Hey,
Yeah.
Sue, you're one of my favorite clients. We are doing a referral. I have room for, whatever their language is going to be. And that script that you just read is just a practice script, but it
Yeah.
gives something for the stylist to start sending. But our protocol is like, hey, send us your script before you send it, just in case we want to tweak a word here or there.
So do you have any other um, uh, pr- big promotions like you had last November? Do you have anything for Mother's Day or anything like that coming up where you've got another period where you're going to have a more of a promotion?
Well, interestingly, currently we are an Aveda brand, and Aveda always does a leader sale during Earth Month. And so right now our leaders and half leaders are on sale. So again, very targeted list. We looked into the data, see who has bought a leader before or a half leader or this franchise that has leaders in it. And we sent that out on Monday morning. And I thought Mondays is a quiet day at Trios. We don't have technicians working. It's a day to do inventory, count inventory, clean the place up, sweep, mop, all that stuff, and answer phones. And we'll have some walk in on a typical Monday. We'll have 400 or 500. Well, that text went out Monday morning, and at the end of the day, we had 12 to 1300 on a no technician day, just frontline answering phones and cleaning and people coming in to buy their leaders. But it was very targeted because with the texting, if you over text, there you're going to see a higher opt out.
Mhm.
So we have a Mother's Day text ready to go out in the beginning of May for our gift card promotion, but also there's going to be another sale promotion that we'll be having in May. So I'm still trying to juggling which one has priority. Maybe one goes by email and one goes by text.
Yeah.
All again, it's under all in the Aura platform, but most platforms have that, I believe.
Well, that's meaningful Monday. I
I,
mean, what you did on Monday, a text going
just
out in the morning, I use the word meaningful. That's some decent volume, especially since it's at least double of a normal day. So,
Yeah, it was triple our normal Mondays, and it
yeah,
was I think what's helping right now is in today's economy, people want that value. They don't want to have to give up something they love, and here it is. It's a special price for a special time. Come in and get it, and people will drive to Trios and come get it.
yeah.
It's
Lori,
a kind of a, if I can talk to owners for a second, it's kind of an appreciation. It's a customer appreciation event. And I hear over and over and over that when you have these sales, it cannibalizes your retail. And we have not seen that. Again, we're a small, uh, a medium-sized salon with 18 employees, and our retail after the sale, we don't see this massive dip like $0. The most we've seen is probably 10 to 15%, and that lasts for maybe 5 days, and then it goes back to normal. So even after we sold 46,000 for the Christmas holiday, the sales after that kept going. Full price, it did not slow down in the season of gift giving. We didn't see any slowdown in that retail.
Yeah, no, that's great. Lori, what else should we be thinking of? I in this particular platform, I've had 3 consecutive episodes that were very AI focused, my last 3 guests. And I sort of intentionally like to stay away from AI just for a minute here, without ignoring it and knowing that with Aura and everybody else, more AI is going to come, et cetera. But the tech adoption is what I care about the most. It's the use of the features to create a return on investment. What else should we hear about this, using Joe as an example of a savvy owner that's not only understanding the features, but actively trying to optimize them, testing this, testing that, getting bona fide results? What else?
Thanks for asking, because what I think we didn't touch on is, aside from the communication piece that Joe's using to send this out, he's also using a feature called our promotions, and he's setting up these promotions. So that's how he's tracking it. That's how he knows exactly what
Ah,
revenue he's bringing in from this specific liter sale or half liter sale. You can set up promotions. So when you sell your retail on your ticket, you're attaching that promotion. So then you can filter out your reports. You can see exactly how it does. You can see past years how that promotion does. And then a new one that we have fairly new in Aura is the goal setting. So you can also then, if you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can set up some goals for those retail sales. You can set them up for the business or just for individual providers. So that way you can track, how you're, not just how you're doing, but each provider. And are you hitting those goals? Everybody likes to celebrate a win. So when you do exceed those goals, everybody can celebrate that way. But using the promotions tied specifically to what your promotion is, whether it be a gift card sale or a leader sale or what have you, to setting it up that way, tying it into some of the goals, and then communicating it with your clients, I think are the 3 pieces that really bring this full circle and successful.
yeah, that's good. Good stuff, Lori. I'm glad you brought up the tracking piece, because that's always been an issue. We do marketing, we do promotions, whatever, and then we put a lot of attention, time, and money into it. Then it's done, and we don't know whether it's effective or not. What you're saying is that you can sort of tag a certain promotion or something like that, and it makes it easy for the Joes of the world to track results.
Yeah, because if you're just selling your retail, like for Joe's example, he's using selling Aveda. Anybody can go into whatever software you use. You can pull a retail report and see all of your Aveda, but you wouldn't be able to differentiate what was your Aveda versus what was this sale specifically. And he wants to know this sale specifically, which is why we know it was $46,000 during his last session. So he can separate what was, a regular retail sale versus what was specifically for this promotion.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Hey
Joe,
Tom,
what?
if
Yeah.
I can say this, I know in an era of salons facing, retail sales are just going down. Uh, we are an Aveda brand, but we also sell a different makeup line and we sell a CBD line. And what we did at the last holiday event is we called our vendor reps for our makeup rep, saying, hey, we want to do some kind of appreciation discount to the customers. What can you help me do? And they're more than willing to go, well, one of the deals I got with one of the reps was, okay, if you're going to give a 20% discount, let's say, then we will give you half of that. Like I'm going to eat 10%, they're going to eat 10%, and they will give us bonus product to help make up for that discounting instead of just having trios eat it all. There is some cost sharing, and they're more than happy to do that. We called our CBD company. CBD is an emerging market, I feel like, and our people are interested in that. We called them and said, can we get some samples from you, something to give it out? And they were more than happy to help us. So I think just a phone call to your vendor reps and saying, hey, I want it, to Lori's point, start somewhere, start with something, and ask your vendors what you can do. If they spend 100, the vendor might give you a gift to give away with that $100 purchase.
Yeah, no, it's a really great call out. I love that, Joe. And you know, um, last the last session we I discussed the term economic uncertainty. And with a little bit of cynicism because I've been hearing economic uncertainty for 40 years. But then I also noticed, playing on that word a little bit, I did a little research, and yes, economic uncertainty is higher than usual right now, as opposed to just people feeling that way. So, anything and everything we can do today to get growth, whether it's through your technology platform, which is partnering with your vendors, which is testing, trying, tracking. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, all of our listeners are small businesses out there dealing with a very abruptly changing world we live in. So I love this episode. And we'll always be talking about growth and technology on this forum and always invite guests like the two of you. Joseph, before we let you go, any big light bulb moments this year? Lori, I'm going to ask you that same question. Any big light bulb? Last time I asked that question to a guest, I received a completely profound and unexpected answer that kind of was a mic drop. I'm not expecting a mic drop today, but what do you got for us, Joe?
Oh my gosh, no pressure there, Thomas. Um, I had an incident. My wife and I got away for 5 days to a resort in Florida that we love. And we go there at least once a year. And because of my wife and how beautiful and kind she is, she gets to know all the service providers. And we go back, and Kyle, he's working the pool area, and he's serving cocktails and burgers and snacks or whatever. And he's like, Karen, Joe, you're back. And I'm like, that warms my heart because we don't go there every week. That's observation number one. Observation number two is like, we talked to him, we're in the service industry. What are you seeing? And he says, oh, yeah, it's tight. People are pulling back. But the reason I know, I'm going to use your word, Tom, the economic uncertainty is grave right now is because my rich customers, because he knows his affluent people, because they come every other week or whatever they do. He goes, when they're clinching, I know it's a major pullback. Huh, that was observation number two. Observation number three, he's like,
It's a gift that keeps on giving, Lori. Keep going, Joe.
so he's like, so what are we drinking today? I said, oh, I'll have a skinny margarita. Can you make it spicy? Sure. You want a double? And I'm like, okay, I'll do a double. And that was observation number three. And he goes to Karen, and he's like, you want one of those too? And she's just like, but he's just leading us on. All I wanted was a skinny margarita. The last observation is like, okay, I got two double skinny margaritas, and you guys like to eat healthy, so I have a hummus and veggie plate. Do you want one of those? And I'm like, sure. But in a clinching time, he had no problem to just woo us from a single to a double to a nice hummus snack. We're by the pool, we're relaxing. So why not? And I just thought that was really awesome because in our industry, we can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you want your hair shinier? How about a gloss? Do you want a tint on that today? All of that stuff, they're here. So why not? What else can we bring value to your visit today? And so I just thought it was interesting because Tom, you said it the same. All businesses are the same. It's client count and average ticket. He's working on his average ticket. He
Yeah,
wants
right.
that higher because people are clinching.
Pretty good on the spot there, Joe. Lori, you got anything for us before we wrap up?
Tie into what Joe was saying, but I think that economic uncertainty, but people are craving human connection more than ever, and like that authenticity that you're finding in places that you choose to do business with. And really, what Joe was just saying is somebody authentically upsold you, but somebody who truly, there's a sense of care behind anything you do. And that's what our businesses do. That's what we try to do with Aura and our customers is just genuinely care and be authentic about the people that you serve and see success.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on your respective light bulb moments because earlier today, I was in a conversation with someone about AI and what that's going to do to business models, et cetera. And there's this wheel, it's theoretical capability and observed usage by occupational category with AI and sort of what fields are going to be more challenged with AI. And so I have this wheel here and it shows the blue means, hey, these are fields that AI is probably going to have a really big impact on. Well, there's one over here called personal care, and that has like no blue. Open space people, the business of touch and the business of personal care, at least experts out in the world of AI are suggesting that that is a place to be going forward. So on that note, folks, let's give these guys a virtual round of applause. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Lori. Both of you will have forthcoming your $1 million light bulb. Lori, I don't think you've ever gotten one of these yet, have you? Okay, so you're going to get one of these. It'll go off to Michigan. And then Joseph, I think this is probably your second or third. So
Thank you both.
all right, folks. Thanks.
It's always great to be here, Tom. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, of course. My pleasure. Thanks to both of you for being such great guests. And we will see both of you soon. The rest of you we'll see in a couple of weeks when we're back on. I'm not sure who my guest is in a couple of weeks. Oh, I think it might be a data related session. So anyway, stay tuned. Again, thanks for spending your precious time with us today, everybody. Joe and Lori, especially the two of you. Thank you.